Today is a super, super special episode. I'm so excited to share with you where I'm sitting. If you're watching this on the Essence YouTube channel, you will see that I'm in an empty room. If you're listening to the podcast, I'm sitting in an empty room recording this because I am in my new apartment. I am about to break down in this episode exactly how I manifested it and what I did in terms of leaning into the energetics behind it, the masculine energy, the feminine energy, how we can use this as an example, as evidence. And again, this is just one form of success, manifesting something, bringing it into your physical reality, that you can then use this framework and apply it to your own life. So before we dive in today, I hope that the acoustics are okay because it's very open in here. There is no real furniture in here yet. I do have my microphone with me, so hopefully that is helping us out. Hopefully that is making it really lovely and easy and fun for you to listen to me and follow along today. But before we dive in, we've got to do our little Virgo housekeeping. You know, I am an organized type A recovering human being. So we gotta go down the list of to-dos. The first thing is for you to get on the wait list for the Energetic Success Studio. This studio is coming up very fast all of a sudden. We've been doing so much work behind the scenes, my team and I, to get it all set up for April 2023. And oh my gosh, we're already on the 1st of March. It is crazy how fast the time is going. There's going to be so much more information on this coming out this week, next week, and the next couple of weeks. So if you are hearing about this for the first time, you're not really sure what the studio is, please click on the link in the description below. You can go check it all out. We're constantly updating the waitlist page so that you're getting as much information as you possibly need in this particular moment. However, when you get on the waitlist, you get tons more information right away sent to your inbox. So I highly recommend, if that is speaking to you, this concept of the energetics within you, the masculine energy, the feminine energy, you want to go through this journey. You're being called to step into reclaiming and activating this feminine energetic superpower within you. I'm going to talk a lot today about how I spent so much time in my masculine energy and how everything shifted and how the things that I wanted in my life, such as these manifestations, came into being because I shifted this internal energetic balance and started tapping into this feminine energy. So the studio is going to help you reactivate and reclaim that energy, as well as reclaim the healthy masculine energy. So this is a really big one because most of us are showing up in this very wounded, unhealthy, and unbalanced masculine energy because we have been taught and conditioned to show up as such in order to create success. And so when you're going after a particular goal, and you're hustling and you're grinding and you're trying to make it happen, and you're feeling the stress and the pressure around it, which is so much about any goal that you want to be creating, aka manifesting your own home, manifesting an apartment, manifesting a partner, whatever it is, we put so much pressure on that because of how we've been conditioned to show up. So the studio is really bringing in this balance of the feminine energy, the masculine energy, and teaching you how to not only reclaim it, but actually activate it in your own life and create what I call your own unique energetic success code. You have this blueprint inside of you, and that's exactly what the studio is going to be here for. So get yourself on that wait list. We did a very fun raffle last week, and I'm going to be doing it again once we hit 60 waitlist signups. We hit 20, and I gave away a free Feminine Flow Blueprint session. So get on there and put your name in for the next raffle. As always, you can always click down below to get your Unleash Your Superpower ebook. This is a free 33-page book that dives into all of the energetics around your inner feminine energy, because that is really the first step to reclaiming the balance between the masculine and feminine. So if you want another step further than just these videos, just this podcast, I really encourage you to click on that, get on that, and start diving into this in your own life. There's tons of actionable things that you can actually start implementing in your life to start balancing out these energetics today. Okay, let's dive into today's episode. And I actually have decided that this episode is going to kick off another new series. So we have our Fuck It Energy series. The second episode of that is coming out next week. But we also have just our general shows that we do every single week here on Wednesdays. But I wanted to get a little bit more personal with you because I think one of the things that I really love is being able to hear someone's personal experience of how they moved through something in their own life and how that then created the environment that they live in, how they then use what they teach. And it really just helps me also understand, okay, there's real people behind this. There's situations and examples that I can relate to, and I can then take that, and it's more than just the conceptual themes behind what we're talking about here. So with that being said, welcome to the first episode of the Essence Show podcast in our series, Live in Essence. So a little play on words. I love to bring in the punniness and the humor. So this is Liv, me, my story behind my essence in my life, my energetics. So of course, I'm going to be talking about the actual steps of manifesting what you want into your life. Specifically, I'm going to be sharing how I manifested my home, my apartment, but also sharing a little bit more about my story because that ties into this story today. So in order to share how I manifested this, and this again is just an example. So if you are like, I already got my dream home, or I really love where I live right now, that is perfect. I want you to take what I share today as an example of something that you can apply to anything that you're wanting to create in your life. So if you're looking to get into a relationship, you want to manifest your dream partner. If you're wanting to start your business, you're wanting to change jobs, get a promotion, you don't want to be working your 9 to 5 anymore, and you're trying to figure out what is it that I want to be doing. Take this as a blueprint. Take this as a general flow of how you can start showing up, of things that you can start doing in order to bring whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into your life. So it's really important before I dive into this to explain where I was coming from, because a lot of my clients, obviously, the people that I attract are people who have had or who are on a similar experience to the one that I've been on. And so a lot of my people in my community, and probably yourself included, just take a minute and think about if it's true, are women who are very strongly in their wounded masculine energy way of showing up in order to create success. And I don't say that as a way to point you out or call you out whatsoever. It really is what the majority of us have been taught to do in order to create success. We've been taught to perform a certain role where we're tough. We need to know what we want to do. We're just going to go do it. We have to take action. We have to be overly organized. We have to control as much as we can. We have to make sure that everyone else thinks that we've got it together so that no one else has anything bad to say about us. And that was really where I was at the beginning of my journey. And when I say the beginning of my journey, I basically mean my entire life and the entire narrative of conditionings that I have been brought up within. And so there was really this strong, wounded, heavy masculine energy in my life, in the way that I was showing up to work, to school, to success, to goals that I had, to relationships. And I wasn't allowing myself to trust. I was really in this place of feeling like I needed to control everything because no one else was going to show up to do it for me. And to an extent, we can argue that that might be true, that you're like, I don't have a support system, or I need to do this, otherwise no one else will do it. And what I want to encourage you to do is to zoom out. If you're in this space and if you're in this community, I'm willing to bet that you have some sort of greater belief system. You believe in spirit and source, in the universe, in God, whatever you want to call it. And there's something greater, energetically speaking, that gets to hold you, that you get to be held within. And so even if there's something that you feel is potentially lacking in your physical reality right now, for example, a support system, or you are a single parent, or you are on your own trying to figure it out, to zoom out and really see that there's this greater energetic support system holding you, guiding you, and supporting you along your journey. And so I really was very disconnected from this. And I felt from, again, what I had been brought up within, that I needed to be the one to do it all. And if I wasn't doing it, no one else was going to do it. It wasn't going to get done. And I might as well just throw in the towel now. And what this resulted in was me being in very forceful, very needy, very grind, push, hustle, and lack energy. There was such lack scarcity mindset because I was constantly in this feeling of I'm here and I need to get here. And there's this big void in between. For anyone listening, I'm at the bottom, I need to get to the top. And there's this void in between. And within that void is the energy and the mindset and the narrative of I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I need to therefore do more because I'm trying to fill that void, right? And so if this resonates with you, so many of us have been conditioned in this way. And again, there's so much more to it. I'm going to try and spark notes it right now because I want to talk about the apartment. But when I was showing up in that energy, it was really hard for me to create the results that I wanted. I had to push 10 times harder than I do now to get what I wanted. I had to struggle 10 times more than I do now to get what I want. I had to take on so much more emotional weight and mental energy of worrying, of stressing, of the fears that were coming up because I did not trust. I did not have this greater feeling of, I'm supported, this gets to work. I'm in this trusting flow state energy. And to be honest, if you're thinking right now, like, okay, I get it. Like, I get that that's where I want to go, Olivia. Cool, cool, cool. But like, how do I make that shift? That already is a huge open awareness. Like, I didn't even know that we could be making that shift, that was actually the energy that we wanted to be in. And so if this is the first time you're hearing about this, perfect. You're watching the video, you're doing the work, but being in this energy of needing, forcing, grasping, like reaching from a place of lack is going to make creating the results that you want really feel super fucking challenging, right? So I just want you to take a minute and think about where you're at in your life right now and what it is that you're wanting to call in. And you clearly clicked on this video because you're like, cool, she manifested this. I want to manifest something. How did she do it? So think about your thing. Bring that thing into your mind's eye right now. Think about the partner that you want to manifest. Think about the home that you want to manifest. Think about the business or the clients or the clarity around your job or your career path that you're wanting to call into your life right now. And now, when you think about how you've been showing up to try and create it up until this point, what's the energy around that? Has it been energy of like, I'm so deserving of this. I get to have this. I know that this is going to happen for me. I know that this is coming for me right now. I trust. I surrender to the process of how it's going to happen. And maybe you're like, these are all new themes to me right now. Like, I didn't even know that that was like what we were supposed to be thinking. Or is it from this place of, I have to do more. Wow, another date that just went down the drain. What a waste of time. Oh, another client call that I didn't seal the deal on. Like, what am I doing wrong? It must mean that I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not meant to be doing this. Oh, another appointment that I didn't get. Like, clearly there's something wrong with the system. Clearly there's something wrong with me. Like, what is the energy? Do you notice the difference between those two examples, those two being in flow, or over here is where we're being in flow, being in a place of surrender, being in a place of trust versus like this needing, reaching, grasping energy. So this is really just the foundation again. And when we're in this needing, forcing, grasping energy, and this is why I shared my background a little bit, this is the wounded masculine energy. This is the energy of, I'm not inherently enough, I'm not inherently worthy, I need to be doing more therefore to prove my worth. I need to prove this worth through how much I'm working. And then on top of that, there's the action. Like, I need to do. I need to go. Standing still is not safe, right? The feminine energy in the situation, and when it comes to manifestation, I'm going to link the video right here because I did a video on the law of balance, and we need to co-create with both of these energies. So you can click the video there and I dive into actually manifesting with these energies in more detail. But we need and we want to call in both the masculine energy and the feminine energy into how we are manifesting, into how we are creating success, into how we are bringing in the thing that we want. So now that we have that foundation, you understand, okay, this is where she was coming from. Maybe I'm coming from that place. Maybe that's my energy and how I'm showing up. Okay, we want this flow energy. I'm going to be calling in more of this surrender, this trust, this feminine energy into how I'm creating my success. Cool, we have the foundation set. Now, how did I manifest this apartment? So I literally started by shifting myself out of this wounded masculine energy, this needing, this feeling of lack, this feeling like, am I deserving of having this whole place to myself? Should I really be spending money on this? I could have shared an apartment with someone. I could have found a way to make it cheaper. And of course, we want to be really mindful of where we're at right now. And at the same time, really feeling like whatever it is that you want to call in, like, do you feel deserving of it? So step number one, get in alignment with the thing that you want, the relationship, the job, the career, the business, the home, the trip. Do you feel worthy and deserving of this thing? Do you feel right now in this moment like you are so inherently worthy of having this? And if the answer is no, that is your first step, is to start aligning yourself with it, to start seeing yourself as the person who is deserving of this thing. You can use affirmations, you can use journaling, you can do scripting, you can listen to hypnosis, you can reach out for me to support you with this. There are so many ways that you can start aligning yourself with the thing that you want, and there's a million different tools that you can use to start calling that alignment in. If you answered, yes, I do feel worthy of this thing, perfect. Keep practicing that. Keep tuning in and tapping into the energy of, it's already done. I already have this thing. So that's what I started doing. I started seeing myself as the person who lived in my apartment. The second step is to start practicing tuning in to your feminine energy. So if this is something that's new for you, I really encourage you to download the free ebook, the Unleash Your Superpower ebook. It's in the description below, because this is what needs to be reclaimed, the work that you're doing to bring this part of you back out. This energy already exists within you. This is not something that you need to learn or create for yourself. It's just about reactivating it, uncovering it. And so in doing so, we are practicing leaning into surrender, leaning into trust, leaning into your intuition. So taking these feminine energetic qualities and bringing them back into your life on a daily basis in how you're practicing manifesting and calling in what it is that you want. So for me, in manifesting my apartment, that meant really making it fun and playful to look online at apartments. That is something that for me would trigger me to go back into this wounded masculine energy, feeling like, oh my God, I need to figure it out. I need to go and contact all these people. Oh my gosh, I need to plan it in my calendar. This is so stressful. And to start practicing showing up in an energy of, oh my God, like, what if this could be fun? Like, and even though I didn't necessarily believe it at the beginning, and I kept creating a default that went back into stress every time I did that, I'd say, okay, if it's not fun right now, I'll come back to it later. And I really started using my intuition, which is another feminine energy tool, to tune into when I wanted to go online and look at apartments, or to tune into when I was going to reach out and say, hey, I'm looking for a place. Let me know if you know anything. So tuning in to the feminine energy, huge number 2 step. Number 3 is to get super specific on what it is that you want. And this can look different for different people. So you might feel like real specificity in terms of like how big you want the apartment, what color it's going to be, like things that are physical that might feel a little bit stressful for you. So I would encourage you to tune into the specificity of how you want to feel. But for me, for example, I do really well with specific details. So I literally drew a diagram in my limited creative abilities of exactly what I wanted the layout of the apartment to look like, how many windows, what direction it was facing, what areas in the city I would want to live in. Did it have a bathtub? Did it have a balcony? All of those things. Step number 4 then was to start playing pretend with it. So I would literally walk around Munich, the city that I now live in, and I'm moving to, and walk down streets and imagine I was going grocery shopping, or imagine I was going home after meeting up with a friend in the city. So I really started to walk through different neighborhoods and envision myself as though I already lived there, and started to ask myself questions like, what's this version of me feel? What's this version of me do? What is she going to cook for dinner tonight? Where is she going after this? How does she run her business? Like, I started to attach it to all these different areas of my life. And I'm going to tell you, because that's step number 4, what I ended up manifesting. But I want to first just share, when I was doing this, when I was going through this manifestation process and calling in this apartment, I actually manifested a lot of other things into my life as well. And that was because I was in this energy and asking myself these questions of, what would I be like? Who's this version of me who's already living in this apartment? Does she have a relationship? Does she go to these places on the weekend? How does she show up in her business? How does she communicate with her clients? How does she feel online? What kind of videos does she create? And for her Essence YouTube show, like, all of these questions are things that I was asking myself. And so it naturally expanded into every other area of my life. Okay, step number 5 is the final step, and I'm going to tell you exactly the exact story of how I got this place. But step number 5 can seem like the easiest thing to do ever, but it is a practice of the feminine energy within you. And this is the biggest practice for me. I know that this is my biggest lifelong practice, and that is to surrender. This is to practice the law of unwavering faith. This is one of the 12 universal laws, and it is literally asking you to say, I trust that I get to have this, and I let go of control. And if you've grown up similar to me in those kind of conditionings that are in this wounded masculine energy that tell you you need to be in control in order to be seen as responsible and in order to make something happen, actually being in a place of surrendering can feel like the most unsafe thing for your nervous system. So regulating your nervous system through this in order to practice surrendering is absolutely key. Again, something that I'm here at your discretion to help you with. So reach out if you want support in that. Surrendering truly means letting go of the forcing and the pushing energy and the needing to have a particular outcome. So I practiced, and my mantra was, I want this, but I don't need this, right? I want this apartment, but I don't need this apartment. And I did that with every apartment that I saw and that I looked at that I didn't end up getting. And I continued to trust, and I came back and I said, okay, I want this, but I don't need this. And I trust so deeply that I'm meant to live in the city. I trust so deeply that it is time for me to get rooted somewhere after 2 years of traveling around, living in different places, always coming back to stay temporarily at my mom's place. It is time for me to get my own place. It is time for me to get rooted. And I trust that instinct, that intuitive knowing so deeply that I know I get to have this apartment. And if it's not this apartment, there's something better. So I want this, but I don't need this. And so here's what ended up happening. I reached out to my entire network, and I was signed up for all kinds of sites, looking at apartments, reaching out to landlords, getting the premium version so that I could contact them quicker. And it was really, I was doing things in a way that was aligned. I was making sure that I wasn't doing more than I needed to. Like I said before, as soon as I got into this stress energy, I would take a step back and pause and come back to it when I felt intuitively called. But I was taking action. I want to be really clear about that. Like, I was doing the things that felt aligned in a physical form. What I then did, though, these 5 steps, like I shared with you, but I let go. And I, like I said, reached out to my network, and I had this really deep feeling, this intuitive knowing that someone I knew was going to hear about something from someone else and pass on the information, and that's how my apartment was going to come through to me. At the same time, I let go of that. I was like, it doesn't need to happen this way. The how doesn't matter. It was just a feeling that I had, and I let it go. And so I was in Canada for 5 weeks over Christmas and New Year's. And that was kind of a real testament for me to let go of control, because I couldn't do anything about the apartment, even though I felt this desire to get it fixed. And get it fixed is the masculine energy of just wanting to have it done, right? So I kept surrendering. I kept leaning back into the feminine. I kept coming back to this place of, it's going to happen in exactly the right time. And me being in Canada right now is a sign that I can't do it. Like, relax, girlfriend, let it go. And the week before I came back from Canada, I got a message from a contact that I had reached out to, who shared with me that she knows someone who's moving out of an apartment. Immediately, I was put in contact with this person. The day I flew back from Canada, I came straight to see the apartment and immediately knew, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And here's what happened. Everyone was telling me that the market was so crazy in Munich right now. Fair enough. A lot of people are wanting to move into the city. There's a lot of competition for apartments. Before I came to look at the apartment, I was at the gas station and I heard 2 girls talking, saying that their apartment that they had just looked at, they were drawing straws were in terms of who was going to get the apartment, because there was just too many people who were all great candidates. I came to look at this apartment then, and first of all, I want to say it had pretty much everything that I had drawn out on my drawing of the layout of the apartment. The layout is a bit different, but it had the balcony, it has a bathtub, it has a beautiful big kitchen, it has a workspace, like everything that I had written on this list, that's what it has. It's facing in the right direction, the sunshine comes in, it's beautiful. The second thing was, after hearing that conversation in the gas station, The landlord told me that I'm the only one who's looking at the place and I can take a couple days and think about it, but if I want it, it's mine. And that was a moment for me where I was like, okay, not only have I manifested exactly what I want, but I've done it in a way that's put me in this lucky girl syndrome. We've all heard about this, right? This is like the big craze on Instagram and TikTok, right? The lucky girl syndrome is, wow, she's so lucky. How did she get this? And that's literally how I felt in this moment, because everything had come together in the perfect way, in the perfect timing, better than I ever could have planned it. And the best part was, I really didn't have to do a lot of work for it. I didn't have to run around to a million different places and look at places. I didn't have to compete. I didn't have to change what I wanted or settle for something. I literally got exactly what I wanted. And I want to just come back to the 5 steps that I shared with you, because these 5 steps are the way that you access this energy within you in order to call in and align yourself with the thing that you want. So I'm going to share a lot more about what is happening in this apartment. Clearly it's still empty. I'm still in the process of moving in, but I wanted to film this video and this episode of the Essence show in this space and like soak it in, show it to you a little bit, tease you a little bit. But I'm definitely going to be sharing more about it. If you want to hear more about the story, please let me know. If you want to see some before and afters, please let me know. But essentially, this is the very rough general 5-step process of how do you get in alignment to call in the thing that you want through working with your energetics. So I'm going to leave you there. Please let me know in the comments what resonated with you most. What are you taking away from this video? What are you currently manifesting in your life? I want to cheer you on, celebrate you, and support you in that. If you do want extra additional support, there's ways to work with me in the description below. Again, grab yourself the Unleash Your Superpower ebook. It's going to be really helpful in starting to activate these energies within yourself. And get on the Energetic Success Studio waitlist, because that is going to be an incredible space community. If you want more support in accessing this energy and activating it in your life without going into the one-on-one, this is going to be for you. So make sure you get on that waitlist. All right, so this was the first episode of Live in Essence, the mini series, part of the Essence show. I'm going to sign off here, and I will see you next time.